All right, we're live. Hello, everyone. This is Brody with everythingboardgames.com. I have Matthew Austin here with Mirrorbox Games. He has his new Kickstarter, The King's Guild.
Good to be with you.
So you're in...
I'm out in LA. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, Los Angeles.
Okay, Los Angeles. Okay, on the west coast there.
Yes.
All right, good to know. So how's gaming over there?
It's great. I've been playing a lot. I play a lot of board games. Got to take a break from playing board games to design them a little bit. But there's actually a really great gaming community out here. We do a lot of play tests in LA. We have like a design and play test group, a bunch of different designers all showing off their games. But people come and play the new designs that we have. So it's really fun.
Nice. All right, let's just get to your game here. So you've been on Kickstarter.
Yes.
And you just slightly missed it, I saw.
Yes. Yes. We did a Kickstarter last year. Ran it during the election. Probably not the best time. But we got to 25,000. Set my goal for 30. I think the goal was a little bit high. I think the game, I hadn't prepared enough, and I'm actually really glad that I've had a lot of time to improve the game over the last several months. It's gotten a lot better. Got new art in, graphic design. I'm really excited to go relaunch on Kickstarter on August 22nd.
Awesome. Now, for someone who doesn't know the theme at all, explain the theme. What is the game? What is it?
So my idea behind the King's Guild was I've always loved like fantasy RPG type games. So I thought, what if we take the idea of an RPG but reverse it? Instead of playing a hero going on adventures, you actually play the guild leader. And so you're actually managing a guild of heroes and crafting items to send them off on daring quests. And then they come back and they join your guild and they bring back treasure. And so what you're doing over the course of your game is you're building up and expanding your guild, recruiting heroes, hiring specialists, building new runes onto your guild. And the story in the King's Guild is that the city of Grey Castle that you all live in is ruled by a guild, the King's Guild. But every time the king dies, there's a competition between all the guild leaders to determine who will be the new King's Guild and the new king. So the game begins with the king on his deathbed, and you're all basically trying to compete with one another to build up your guild so that you'll be chosen as the new King's Guild.
Nice. So yeah, a good spin on everything here. I like what you got. When I watched, some of your videos and everything, and I'll let you talk about a little bit about it. But you have certain things you can do on your turn. Not too complicated, which is it's good for a lot of people. But you got 5 places on your board. Pick up resources. You can pick up 3 of the same or 1 of 2 different types. Kind of, has that mechanic like Splendor. Is it?
Yeah, it's sort of a similar concept to Splendor. Something that I always thought was funny with Splendor is that if you get 3 kinds, you get more, but if you get the same kind, you get less. I thought that didn't make any sense. So in my game, if you just go to one place, say if you go to get metal in the mines, you get 3 because you have more time. But if you split it up and go to 2 different places, you get 1 metal and 1 wood, for instance.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but that's a good point. You would get more of the same if you went to the. Yeah, all right. So besides that, explain kind of the mechanics and how you play a turn.
I wanted a really simple turn structure. So every turn you choose 1 action. You can either gather resources, or you can craft items for heroes, or you can upgrade your guild. And so it's basically choosing which of those actions to take each turn, and then looking at what the other players are doing that really determines what you do. So gathering resources, there's 4 different kinds you can get: cloth, metal, leather, and wood. Cloth and leather are going to be to make armor, whereas metal and wood are going to be usually more for weapons. And what happens is there are different heroes out in the town. So in the city, there are different heroes that want to go on quests, but they need different items. So for instance, this mage hero here needs pants, and he needs 3 leather to craft those pants. So you might gather those leather on one turn, and then the next turn you spend the leather to craft the pants for the mage, and then he can go on his quest and bring back treasure and join your guild. So that's the crafting action, is you're spending your resources crafting items for heroes, and then if they get all the items they need, they go on a quest and bring back treasure. And so you might get different types of treasures from different heroes. So you might get like something like a charm that's worth prestige for your guild, or you might get some resources like these oak branches, or you might just get like a bag of money, which is always handy too. So you're getting the resources and the money for crafting the items. And then the third action, upgrading your guild, is how you spend your money to make your guild better. So when you upgrade, you can build new rooms onto your guild. So for instance, if I want to craft enchanted items, I might build a magic arcanum, which will allow me to gather magic, and that lets me craft enchanted items. Or I might build like a warehouse that'll increase my storage space so I can hold more resources in my guild. You can also hire specialists when you upgrade your guild, and these will give you permanent abilities, and each one is unique. So for instance, I could get the lumberjack, and his power is every time I gather resources, I get an extra piece of wood. And there's 36 different specialists. They're all unique. So a lot of the strategy in this game is sort of building up your guild's abilities over the course of the game by hiring different specialists and building rooms and building a strategy around whatever you've built throughout the game.
Yeah, I saw that store. You only got 5 spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 5 spots on your board. So that, yeah, it would really help. I like you can, decide what your strengths are. You kind of start off, it seems like pretty weak. You're not really heavy everywhere, and you can decide where you're going to build up.
Yeah, so each guild has a different starting ability, but it's just a little something to start you off. So like the Guild of Adventurers starts with a quest, and the Band of Builders, they have an extra storage space. But you basically take that starting position and then you start building throughout the game. And one thing that's really fun in this game is that you have it like sort of an objective. There's these these great halls that you can build towards the end of the game. And they'll give you bonus prestige. So for instance, if I build the arsenal, then I gain prestige for every weapon that I've got on my quests throughout the game. So if I see that there, I might try to then do all the quests that have weapons on them and get all those heroes into my guild, so then I could build the arsenal and score a lot of prestige that way.
Yeah, kind of a little guidance, so you kind of know where you're going. Yeah, I like that. Who did your art?
So my art, I was really happy with my art. I found an artist, Laura Bevan. She's based in France, actually. So I searched around a lot online to find somebody who had the art style that I wanted, and also someone who could do characters and environments and equipment, since I needed all of those things. And she had a great portfolio, and I've been really happy with her work.
Yeah, it looks awesome. And, I used to be like, oh, art doesn't matter to me. I'm all about the game, if it goes. And then, all of a sudden, art does matter to me. I don't know how this happens. All of a sudden, oh, it looks a lot better with this art. So, the art looks amazing. I really enjoy it. So, congratulations on that. So now you have certain resources and everything. How does it play? How many players does it play, first of all?
So it plays 2 to 5 players, and the game time is usually about 60 to 90 minutes.
Okay, so how differently does it play with 2? Because you can run out of resources, so you might not be encountering that as much with 2, but with 5, I'd imagine you might be. Does it play differently, kind of how the game is?
The way it works actually is the number of resources available in the game scales up for the number of players. So it's pretty competitive at all numbers. The resource is definitely very like a tight economy. And so a lot of the gameplay is you're choosing, well, which resources do I want? And also looking at your opponents and what do they want? With 2 players, you definitely have a little bit more control because there's only one person, as long as you can account for what they're going to do, then you can find your strategy around it. With 5, you really have to plan out a lot in advance because there's 4 other people going in between you. So you have to really plan out ahead to make sure that you'll be able to craft the quest that you needed or buy the room or hire the specialists you need. But what's nice is if somebody comes in and grabs what you need, there's a lot of flexibility in terms of going for a different strategy, because there's a lot of overlap between the different strategies in the game.
Yeah, it looks like then, you know, you've play tested it pretty. Talk about that. Talk about your play testing.
I have play tested this game hundreds of times, so it's changed a lot since the very beginning. But within the last 6 months, it's been pretty consistent. So it's been an interesting process playing it over and over again, and starting out where, you know, every single play test, it'd be like, oh, we got to change that. Oh, this whole system is broken. Got to do something different. And then over time, as I play test more and more, now it's, you know, everybody likes it every time pretty much. You know, it's just minor tweaks and balancing at this point. And that's, to me, that's a really good sign.
Yeah, so explain to us maybe some of the new changes that you've done. From, you know, the name is a little bit different, and I don't know if you've changed much more, but explain to us, you know, because maybe someone that knows a little bit what it used to be, maybe it's a little bit different. Explain.
So the biggest change to the game is the addition of the player board. So now when you're building your guild, you're actually building your guild over the course of the game. So you have this player board with these different areas to build on, and when you build a new room, you have to choose which place you want to place the room, and you have limited space, so it can actually make a difference. And the other thing is that you'll actually earn bonuses if you build in certain areas. So if I build here, I'll get extra metal. And so a lot of the strategy now becomes, how do I build on my guild? And it hasn't, you know, like the underlying mechanics didn't really change, but a lot of what makes sense and what matters changes because you're interacting with this board. And it's also nice to just see this visual presence of your guild building up over the course of the game.
Yeah, I like that. You know, the video and stuff I watched was your old one, and it didn't have that. I like that, you know, because you can kind of see, you know, oh, here I'm actually building my area. My wife, we play games, and she just likes her own area. She's, don't mess with me. I just want my own thing to work on, you know.
Yeah, so it's nice, and everything that you build in the game goes on there. So the rooms go on the actual board, but then up above the board, there's spots for your specialists. And then all along the side here is where you have your quests. And the other thing that got added with this element is that you're limited in the number of specialists that you can have. You can only have 4 up above your guild. But there's these rooms, chamber rooms, that you can build that will actually give you extra storage space for more specialists. So in the previous version of the game, those were just a way to score points. But now with the board, they actually help you increase your capacity for hiring more specialists, and that adds another little twist on it as well.
Awesome. You know, that cardboard there, the extra things, it looks pretty good component-wise. What's going to be the all the resources? You know, what is that made out of? And
so the resources are wood. So there's different colored wood for each of the different colored resources.
I love me some wood. I like that.
But whoops, let me hold that up there. So there's different wood discs for the resources. All of the guild rooms and tiles are all punch board. You know, then we have lots of different types of cards. We have the quest cards, which are poker size. We have the treasure cards, which are little mini cards. And then we have the specialists, which are actually these square cards designed to fit on the different room tiles. So lots of different stuff. There's a big, beautiful board as well. So can't really show all of that at one time, but there's a nice big board. And then the other big thing that I actually haven't announced yet, so if anybody's watching, this is the first time that they have heard about it, is that there are going to be miniatures in the game for each of the guilds. So that's something that I've added from last time, is you'll have a little miniature with your crest, your guild's crest on it, and that's what you set down on the quests when you craft items.
Awesome. All right. You know, something new. How'd you think of that? Like, how did that come about?
So prior to that, I just had these little markers, but I just thought it would be a cool addition to the game, so you can really feel your guild's presence on the board, to be able to put down a miniature there. It also allows me to make more room on my punch boards to have other rooms in the game, which allows that. So that's nice.
Yeah. Now, I was thinking, what are the mechanisms that you have in here? You know, I'm drawn you know what they are, but what you probably know what mechanisms really, you know, because people sometimes like games from certain mechanisms.
Right. I mean, it's got limited resources and an economy around that. You have action selection. You have tableau building because you're building your guild out there. You've got a little bit of engine building with the specialists because you're getting unique abilities. So if you like unique player powers and things like that, the specialists are really fun for that. And then there's also an element of set collection. So some of the treasures that you can get, like this ancient breastplate, it's actually part of a set. And so if you can try to collect a set of all those treasures, you'll score a lot of prestige at the end of the game. So there's a lot of different pieces. I went with the theme first of creating this like RPG, this guild, you know, guild leader running their kingdom concept, and then used a bunch of different mechanics to build onto that theme. But I like it because what really matters to me in games is immersion, and to me that's when the theme and mechanics work well together. And so that was my ultimate goal with this game, was to create a really immersive experience.
Yeah, awesome. Again, when are you launching on Kickstarter?
We're launching on August 22nd, so it's about 2 weeks from today. We're gonna have, for anybody who's backed our campaign before or who hears about us in the first 3 days, we're gonna have a little special discount for those people. It's a few dollars off to pledge early on the first 3 days. But the Kickstarter preview page, it should be up next week.
Awesome. Well, good luck on that and everything. Tell us a little bit about your background and Mirrorbox Games. You know, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I started working on board gaming with my friend Joey in 2013, 2014. He had a game called Chaosmos that he was working on, and I helped him develop that, and we launched that on Kickstarter in 2014 and then released it in 2015. So Chaosmos is like this epic sci-fi space adventure game. And so that was basically our first game as Mirrorbox. You know, Joey's working on his own projects now, and then I started working on my first game, which is the King's Guild. So, you know, prior to board games, I worked in tech for a little bit. I worked in solar power for a little bit, always been sort of like an entrepreneur. So starting my own board game company sounded really fun because I love board games and I love entrepreneurship. So it was a fun way to put the two together.
Yeah, awesome. And, you know, obviously we're glad that, you know, you chose that. It looks like a very fun game. Do you have plans of other games here in the future?
Yes, I have several ideas for the future, but I don't want to reveal any of them yet. I'm focused on the King's Guild right now.
Nope, that's fine. And we're just making sure that you got something, you know, coming up behind there.
In the pipeline.
What's that?
We have more in the pipeline.
Yes, perfect. That's what we like to hear. Anything else you want to add about, you know, the King's Guild?
I think that's it. I think that about covers everything. So back us on August 22nd.
Awesome. You have a Facebook group? Is that
yes. We're on Facebook. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. It's Mirrorbox Games for all three of them. So you can follow us there. We're going to be doing a little contest before we launch where we're going to give away a couple different games: Chaosmos, Apotheca, King's Abbey, lots of different games from different LA-based game designers. And then we're having a launch party on August 22nd on Facebook. So follow us there.
Awesome. We'll be there. Everythingboardgames.com will be there. We'll also, you know, throw it out there so people can see and know when it's coming. Anyways, thank you for being here, talking to us, explaining the game. Good luck to you, and you know, we wish you all the best luck.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
All right.
Bye-bye.